Multiverse theory suggests that there are multiple, perhaps infinite universes existing parallel to our own. Each universe may have different physical laws, timelines, or versions of reality. This idea has fascinated scientists, writers, and filmmakers alike. The concept of the multiverse originates from quantum mechanics, particularly the many worlds interpretation proposed by Hugh Everett. According to this theory, every quantum decision spawns a new universe. That means every choice you could have made exists in some alternate version of reality. Time travel, on the other hand, is the idea of moving backward or forward in time, relative to the normal flow experienced by most people. It has long been a staple of science fiction. Although theoretical physics supports some mechanisms for time travel, like wormholes or relativity, it remains largely hypothetical. Pop culture has embraced these themes deeply. Movies like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man: No Way Home, and Everything Everywhere all at once dive into the chaos and wonder of alternate realities. These stories explore identity, consequence, and what it means to exist. So, in time travel narratives, there's often this thing called the butterfly effect where, small changes in the past can lead to massive consequences in the future. This whole idea causes a lot of tension and brings up philosophical questions about fate and free will. Honestly, it's a powerful storytelling tool that really makes the audience reflect on their own choices. The multiverse, well, it allows storytellers to ask what if on a massive scale. Like, what if historical events turned out differently? Or what if your life took another path? Marvel and DC Comics have both been using multiverse concepts for decades now. They use alternate timelines to explain character reboots, reimaginings, or those big crossover events. This gives a lot of flexibility in storytelling and it keeps the narratives feeling fresh. In the world of physics, time travel is theoretically possible under Einstein's theory of relativity. As objects approach the speed of light, time actually slows for them relative to others. This phenomenon has even been observed in GPS satellites and high-speed particles. Wormholes are, another theoretical time travel mechanism. These hypothetical tunnels could connect distant parts of the universe or even different times. However, stable wormholes would require exotic matter, which honestly has not yet been discovered. Philosophically, both time travel and multiverse stories raise, moral dilemmas. Should we fix the past if it causes harm to the present? Can we even define a true version of reality if infinite variations exist? So time travel can actually be split into two types: closed loop, where everything is predetermined and paradoxes are avoided, and open loop, where you can, actually change the past. Closed-loop narratives, like in 12 Monkeys, suggest that fate just cannot be changed no matter what. On the other hand, open-loop stories like Back to the Future let characters rewrite history and basically mess with the timeline. The grandfather paradox is, honestly, one of the most famous time travel problems out there. If you went back in time and stopped your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, you wouldn't exist to go back in time in the first place. This leads to these wild logical contradictions that scientists and writers just love to explore. The multiverse concept, it offers a solution to these tricky time travel paradoxes. Instead of changing your own timeline, you actually jump into a new one. This way, you avoid all those causality issues and end up creating branching realities. In literature, multiverse and time travel have a rich history. From H.G. Wells's The Time Machine to Philip K. Dick's parallel world explorations, authors have used these ideas to challenge perceptions of truth and continuity. The speculative genre, really thrives on these concepts. In video games, titles like BioShock Infinite, The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time, and Chrono Trigger have masterfully used time and reality shifts. These mechanics allow players to explore consequence and alternate outcomes. It adds replay value and, honestly, a lot of narrative depth. Scientists today are researching quantum entanglement and time dilation, which touch the edge of these sci-fi concepts. While we're far from building a time machine or traveling to parallel worlds, theoretical studies continue. The math often works, even if, the engineering doesn't yet. Religious and spiritual traditions have their own versions of multiverses. Hindu cosmology, for example, speaks of endless cycles of creation and destruction across different realms. And, some mystics believe in reincarnation across parallel planes of existence. Multiverse stories are increasingly used to explore identity and mental health. They offer a metaphor for anxiety, indecision, or that feeling of being lost in a sea of possibilities. Characters in these stories often ask, which version of me is real? Time travel, similarly, is a metaphor for regret or nostalgia. Characters revisit past traumas or lost loves, trying to correct or understand them. These stories, honestly, resonate deeply with human emotions. So, as AI and simulation theory gain traction, the idea that we live in a simulation, a kind of artificial multiverse, is, well, gaining popularity. Elon Musk and others have suggested we might be one of many simulated worlds. This really blends science fiction with philosophical inquiry. Social media memes and storytelling have totally embraced multiverse humor. The idea of in another universe, I'm rich and famous has kind of become a coping mechanism for real-world dissatisfaction. It's a light-hearted twist on a deep concept. Educational tools now use time travel simulations to teach history. Students can travel to different eras to learn interactively. It makes abstract timelines more tangible and engaging. In environmental and geopolitical discourse, alternate futures are explored to understand the impact of current choices. Climate models, for instance, simulate multiple futures based on policy decisions. These models are a kind of scientific multiverse. AI storytelling tools, like this one by the way, now generate narratives involving time loops and multiverses with a greater ease. This democratizes access to complex storytelling structures. It also raises questions about authorship and originality. Ultimately, the fascination with multiverse and time travel reflects our deepest desires to undo mistakes, to understand ourselves, and to explore the infinite. These concepts bridge science, spirituality, entertainment, and philosophy. And as our technology and imagination grow, so too does our ability to dream of what could be.